Hey everybody, it's Preston here with Citizen Response. The purpose of today's video is to outline and demonstrate how basically anybody with any body type can not only efficiently concealed carry a Glock 19 size firearm, but also do it comfortably, right? Because I remember when I first got into concealed carry, I thought it was super uncomfortable. I didn't really know what I was doing. There's a lot of information out there. I'm a smaller channel, but this is coming from someone who actually concealed carries all day, every single day. And when I say concealed, I mean concealed. I don't want my gun printing a lot. I don't want people to be able to tell that I have a gun on me. And so this is an honest, truthful, accurate representation of how you can carry a Glock 19 size firearm comfortably every single day. Now we're going to get into the meat and potatoes of the video. This is not a full EDC overview or anything like that. This is simply assessing the specific tools and modifications that I have on my person that allows me to carry a firearm like the Glock 19. I have my gun on right now. I have my gun on and I have a spare magazine. And for size reference, I'm about 5'7", and I recently had surgery, so I'm a little underweight. I usually am around the 150 to 155. Now I'm about 140. I lost some weight due to the surgery. That's okay. But that's just for size reference, and that makes it even harder because I'm not a big guy. But the fact that I can concealed carry a Glock 19 every day and 99% of people don't know or can't tell is testament that you can as well. So basically we're going to go ahead and get into it and break down everything that you need to be able to do this. Alright, so the first thing when you're looking at a concealed carry setup like this is you have the two foundations, which are the belt and the holster. This belt that I'm running is a Next Belt Supreme Appendix belt. This is by far the best gun belt, concealed carry belt on the market, no question. I've got the buckle offset right here. This is a big thing for concealability because I used to run my buckle more mid right here, and it would stick out. It would stick out all the way about here. When I started rotating my buckle over to the side right here, really eliminates that and allows the flattest surface possible because your gun is already going to be pressing out enough. You don't need another layer of metal on top of that. So what we have here is, a lot of times guys won't know where exactly to run their rig when they're talking for appendix carry. So you can run it directly at the 12 o'clock. The direct 12 o'clock position works really well if you have something like a Tentacore Velo or like a T-Rex arm sidecar where you have a big claw or some camming bar that will rotate the grip back into your body. There, it's best to run it directly at 12 o'clock. The holster I'm running, which is just an appendix holster from a local company called Almeida Custom Holsters from Waco. I love those guys and they make great holsters. Does not have a rotating bar or camming bar or anything like that. I personally don't need it because I don't run my gun directly center line. I actually run it, I used to run it a little bit farther, like if you've seen in my previous videos, I run the Glock 43X a lot as well. I run that one a little bit off to the center, but this one's right at about the 1230 mark, which is perfect. So because it cams the way my body is built, it actually, the grip perfectly sits right here because you have a natural little crevice right here. When you lift your legs, you have a small area, and the grip of my gun allows to sit right there so it doesn't stick out. If I were to run this super center line, you see it would point and stick out like this, but since I run it just off center a little bit, it's crazy the difference and how I can make it disappear. Now there is something I actually did to this holster that actually helps with concealability a lot and comfort number one. So I actually have a Dr. Scholl's wedge velcroed on the back of here. You'll see people are selling wedges. That's okay. This is just personally what I've used, and this is what works for me. I have this on every single appendix carry holster that I have. I love it. It makes it so comfortable not having the entirety of the Kydex pressing on you. Having this nice little comfortable squishy wedge right here. Not only does it aid in comfort, but it really, really helps in concealability as well because you can see it actually pushes it back into my body a little bit. Not so much that the grip is so shoved in here it's a hard time gripping the gun, but just enough that it makes a big enough difference in comfort and concealability. Now I personally run the Discreet Carry Concepts Mod 4 clip as my main clip. I don't run dual clips. It's just personal preference. I like having one clip for when I need to tuck it. It's just really incognito. But it's also super flat. That's another thing. It doesn't stick out at all. Just like the buckle, you know, that clip is literally micro thin, but it's rugged and extremely strong. Like, you cannot break these things. They're amazing. So here you have the full combo. I'll give you a side view. You know, it doesn't conceal perfectly. Like, anytime you're concealing a gun, if you're walking into the wind or anything like that, it's gonna print, all right? But another thing that you can do that doesn't cost you any money to add to concealability is your posture. Posture is huge. I can't even begin to tell you. If you really lean your hips forward and you don't have your chest high, your gun is gonna print. But if you stand up, as you should, right, with your back just slightly retracted, you know, not the meme, not doing the meme where you do all that stuff. Just keep your chest high, guys. Keep your chest high and keep your chin high, and it's fine. And you'll be able, you know, and if you're skinny, maybe lift some weights, get some upper body so that your shirt can drape a little bit. But if not, doesn't really matter. Y'all see Lucas, T-Rex Arms, he's really skinny and he can conceal Glock 19 all day, every day. So even if you don't like lifting weights, you can still conceal as long as you have good posture. Posture is huge. Alright guys, so another important thing with your holster setup is making sure that your ride height is actually high enough. So if you don't know what I'm talking about, ride height, as you can see right here, is how actually high the holster sits up in relation to the belt line. So a lot of holsters, there actually have been holsters that I purchased where the ride height was so low that I could not grab the gun. Like, it was sitting below, like really right at my belt line, and you can't grab the grip. So not only for shootability and accessibility is that important, but also it helps a lot for comfort. If you're like me and you're not a super big guy, you don't have a ton of pelvis room, if your ride height is a little bit higher, when you go to sit down, it'll be so nice because you won't have all that plastic digging into you, and just, you know exactly, if you've appendix carried one day in your life, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Make sure your ride height is high enough, and you'll sit up, and then you can hike your pants up just a little bit, sit down, no problem, no pain. It also allows for the quick and efficient access of the firearm. It allows you to get the full firing grip. So regardless of what position you're in, whether you have to do it one-handed, you can get a really good solid grip. And it helps alleviate any pain, so what's not to like? So final point before we wrap up the video is figuring out and playing around with this stuff before you carry it. You need to get your belt, you need to get your holster and get your gun, and you need to go out and do things with it on before you wear it in public, right? See it and make sure that you can squat in a full range of motion. I can sit here down in that squatted position all day, no problem, because like I was talking about, that natural crevice that you have, you want your holster to be sitting in between there. Some holsters have a really, really sharp point, and if you try to bend down, it'll actually dig into your thigh, and it really hurts. I'm not going to name any specific holster brands that are like this, but just look and see if there's a super sharp corner on the edge of your holster. I'll show you. Mine does not. It is angled off like this, and as you can see, my leg would be right here. The crevice would be going down right here. It's just really nice. I don't have any of that poking, and it's awesome. So make sure you're running your holster enough center line that it fits within that crevice, but not so center line that your grip starts to stick out a little bit. So I want to thank you all so much for watching the video. I hope that anything that I said helped. Let me know in the comments section, what gun do you carry, how do you carry it, and how does it conceal? And if you have any questions, please feel free to ask. I've been carrying for a few years now, and I've spent a lot of money on holsters, a lot of money on belts, and I'm settled on this system. Regardless of what gun I'm carrying with a next belt and an Almeida Custom Holsters appendix holster with a discreet carry concepts clip. That's just how I'm going to do it because that's what works for me. It may not work for you, but the big thing is just try it on and experiment before you go out and potentially find yourself in a situation with gear that's uncomfortable that you're just going to take off. Because it doesn't matter, how good you are at shooting or how great your gun is or how smooth your trigger is, if you don't actually have your gun on you. So I want to thank you so much. I give a small message at the end of each of my videos, just begging you guys, if you don't know the Lord, if you don't know Jesus Christ, I pray that you would open your Bible or, go find someone that can help you out. Go find someone who can lead you in that. Because God offers salvation to all of those who come before Him and seek His presence. God will find you. So God bless. I hope you guys have a good rest of your day.